This is Joe Rogan, and I'm here with Layzie The Savage from MiddleEasy.com. But you already know that, bitch.
And what do you think about this weekend's fights?
Very excited, man. Crow Cop is all amped up and angry. You know, an angry Crow Cop is a fun Crow Cop, you know? If Crow Cop really tries to put some heat on Frank Mir, I think that'd be kind of exciting. You know, who knows, man? If Mir can't take him down, the old days, man, Crow Cop was a motherfucker to take down, if you remember. The old days when he was motivated and in really good shape before, he's had a ton of injuries and surgery and all sorts of shit. And then, of course, the Gonzaga fight, you know, there was a lot of shit went down, right? But if you go back to, like, the Mark Coleman fight in Pride, you know, you can't take him down. You can't take him down, and standing up with him, he's a motherfucker, dude. He's going to light you up. If he can somehow or another recapture that kind of form, I think this is a very exciting fight. And Mir showed in the Czech Congo fight, he's not scared to stand with dudes. He'll blast, you know, he'll blast you. Czech Congo's a dangerous guy, you know, and striking is his shit, and Mir cracked him and dropped him. You know, I also think Mir's going to be amped up now because of those two fights, especially the Shane Carwin fight, man. He got beat down and shut off in that fight, and you know that was a very disappointing fight. We really didn't feel like he had the right game plan, didn't feel like he executed the right way, kind of underestimated Carwin a little bit. And you know, the guys who really are still after it, and Mir's still after it, they always come back better. They always come back from a loss better. Mir's been beat before. It doesn't take away his aggression. I mean, you know, he got beat down by Ian Freeman way early in his career. That never fucked him up. You know, he's been beat down by Paytapano. It never messes his confidence up. With him, it's all a matter of, is his head on straight? Is he focused? Is he's got the right game plan? And is he in really good shape? And lately, he's been in really good shape. You know, it's just he had a bad strategy with the Lesnar fight. He just did not have the wrestling to deal with Lesnar, and Lesnar just held him down in that position and beat the fuck out of him. You know, that crazy thing where he hooked his arm and trapped him, so all Mir had was like this hand to defend himself, and he had that big gorilla arm locked in and just punched him over and over in the face. That shit took a lot out of him, you know. That was a tough fucking beatdown, you know. So I think Frank Mir's a smart dude, and he learns from every fight. And I think he's going to definitely learn from that Shane Carwin fight, and he's going to want to do something really exciting to get back in the heat at heavyweight. And if he goes out there and smashes Crow Cop, especially if he stands with him and blasts him, can you imagine how crazy that shit would be? And he might do that, man. Frank Mir might just stand with Crow Cop. I really could see Frank standing with Crow Cop. I really could see him telling him that, I mean, it might be wrong, but I could really see him telling him, I can fucking hang with you. I can hang with you. I'm gonna hang with you right now. I'm gonna blast you. And who the fuck knows? Anything can happen. If he hits Crow Cop with one of those big lefts that he hit Czech Congo with, dude, those fuck everybody up. Everybody that lands. And if you look at Pat Barry and Pat Barry's fight with Crow Cop, Pat Barry got some shots in, man, hard ones. Dropped him. If Frank Mir drops him like that, he's diving on a guillotine. Diving. He'll dive on that shit. You know, so who knows, man? You should be excited.
Anything on the undercard grab your eye or attention that you're stoked to see?
I deteriorated that gum from getting so excited. My adrenaline was pumping, saliva. I started thinking about the fights. Yeah, there's a couple good fights on the undercard, man. Let's see. What are the big fights on the card?
You got Bader versus Lil
Ryan Bader and Nogueira, and there's one. Oh, Sean Sherk and Evan Dunham. That's what I'm thinking about. Sean Sherk and Evan Dunham is a motherfucker. I like that fight a lot. Evan Dunham is a beast, man. I really liked his last couple of fights. I really liked him against Tyson Griffin. I was very impressed with his grappling, man. He's a really exceptional dude, and he's getting better every time you see him fight. Got a nasty guard, the Efrain Escudero, when he caught him with that armbar. That shit was tight, dude. And I've heard that about him from Gerald Strebent, who's one of Eddie Bravo's black belts. And Gerald was telling me about this kid a while ago, and he was saying he's fucking incredible. Gerald's real high on him, and you know, Gerald knows his shit. And he starts talking about a guy being real nasty on the ground, you know, and Evan Dunham's real nasty with his stand-up too. His very first fight against Per Eklund in the UFC blasted him with straight lefts, man. He's real tall, he's game, you know, he goes in there scrapping. And you know, Sean Sherk, of course, Sean Sherk has been a long time. He's been off. He lost that fight to Tyson Griffin, was real upset at himself, and you know, he's at that stage in his career where he needs to make something happen. And I think he's going to be in incredible shape and super aggressive. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I think it's an interesting fight between a real veteran, former champion, Sean Sherk, fought all over the world, and this bad motherfucker that's up and coming. You know, that's a real interesting fight to me. And of course, Nogueira and Bader, that's a bad fight too, a badass fight too, because, you know, look, Nogueira, honest, did not look that good against Jason Brills. He wasn't preparing for that kind of guy, and, you know, Brills was the last-minute replacement, but Brills took him down a bunch of times, got some near submissions. A lot of people thought he could have won the decision. And, you know, Nogueira, first fight in the UFC, fights Louise Kane. He looks like a fucking destroyer, you know, and everybody's real high on him. So a little bit of the luster is off of him, you know, from that last fight. So he's going to be all amped up, and Ryan Bader knows that Nogueira is top 10. You know, if Ryan Bader can stop him, you know, if he can get in there and blast him, and Ryan Bader, anybody he touches is in danger. You know, Ryan Bader's got some serious fucking power. That said, technique-wise, Nogueira is, he medaled for the Brazilian amateur boxing team. He's a really good boxer. So for him, it's all about, is Ryan Bader going to be able to mix up the shots and the punches enough to confuse Nogueira? Because Nogueira had a problem with the wrestling of Brills, right? So, and Brills is a very good wrestler, but I think you could safely say that Bader's a more dangerous wrestler because he's more explosive and faster and strong as fuck, you know? And he's got some serious gorilla thump knockout power, you know? He's one of those dudes, he blasts you. Anybody he hits is in big trouble. And when you're mixing up takedowns and punches, you know, crazy shit happens. Bader's going to be super amped up for this fight because he knows this is a career maker. You know, he gets in there with a guy like, you know, like Nogueira and blasts him. You know, Bader moves way the fuck up the food chain. You know, I mean, Bader won the Ultimate Fighter. Hey.
I got mucho respect para ti, güey.
Thank you, man.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what those are all about. Was he really Spanish? I don't think he was, right?
I got one last question before we let you go, man. We
Okay.
just found out that Chael Sonnen and Pop is official. For,
just official that supposedly Sherdog blasted it first, that he's tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug, which is, you know, obviously to everyone quite ironic after the whole Lance Armstrong comments, you know. But hey, you know, I can't really comment on what happened because at this moment, today is Sunday night, the, what is it, the 19th, 18th, 19th, whatever it is, 19th. We don't know exactly what happened. We don't know what, it might have been some shit that was in a cold serum, you know, I mean.
Actually, I just heard, I think it's official, it's steroids. It's official, they just didn't they just say?
LA Times said what? Yes, but they said something. They didn't say what it was. The LA Times said steroids officially? Okay, let's read the Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't, you see, this is how much we know, honestly. So I really am not in a position where I can say anything. This is how much we know. But I do know that the California State Athletic Commission has had a bunch of problems with fighters over the years testing positive. Guys that disputed it, I think it was Phil Baroni, I don't know if he did, but I know for sure Sean Shirk had a huge problem with the California State Athletic Commission, and other guys have as well. You know, it was a problematic commission. It was problematic this week in the boxing commission. People were all upset about the decision between Oscar De La Hoya and Sergio Mora. Ridiculous decision. Did I say Oscar De La Hoya? Sugar Shea Mosley and Mora. Did you see that fight?
Yeah, I did.
It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
Mosley definitely should have won. He was pushing the fight. You know, it wasn't the best fight in the world, but Mosley, for sure, took the action to him, beat him down, held on to him, forced him to fight his fight, and by the last couple of rounds, he was forcing him to fight his fight. You know, I thought for sure he won. And when they announced it a draw, I was like, this is ridiculous. And Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant called out the State Athletic Commission. They were like, this Athletic Commission needs to get their shit together.
So what happens now with Chael and he's supposed to have an automatic rematch?
I literally, like I said, just if this guy's correct, MiddleEasy, my friend over here, is correct, then it is official that he's tested positive for steroids. I don't know, man. I also know that some supplements make you test positive for steroids. If you get nutty and start fucking pulling shit down off the GNC shelf, you know, all those dick growing pills and shit, maybe Chael Sonnen's buying some dick pills. You know, that's very possible. If you do that, that will make you test positive. There's a lot of shit in all those things that make you weight gain and shit. They're just throwing steroids in there, man. They don't give a fuck. They want you to tell your friends. They want you to come over the house with big zits on your back, all fucking swole up, 15 pounds bigger with a fat neck. They go, yo, man, I'm on this fucking Nutrigain. You gotta get on that. And so then they test Nutrigain. They find out it's got, like, you know, what are the stuff that used to be illegal? Androstenedione. Remember back when Mark McGuire was claiming he never did juice? He said he was on androstenedione, some stuff that you buy at GNC. Well, it turns out that stuff makes you test positive for steroids, and it is illegal now. And there's other supplements that have tested positive for that stuff.
All to make your dick grow.
They just throw it in there.
All to make
Like, whatever, fucking mix it up. What do we got left on the shelf? It's like nobody's monitoring these motherfuckers that are making nutritional supplements. Dudes are just pulling shit down from shelves. What do we got left? We're gonna make the super dick hard weight gain formula. So we got some,
Make it purple. It's okay.
Right, we got some tribulus over here. We're gonna throw that in the mix, and some fucking horny goat weed. Right, they're just throwing shit in there, and some of it will probably make you test positive for steroids. It is possible. There's a lot of shit you're not supposed to take.
Now that he's tested positive, though, who's next for Anderson if he can't fight?
Who knows?
He's gonna get a 12-month suspension.
You know, probably looks like Nate Marquardt, right? Unless Vitor Belfort wins in stunning fashion, or Okami wins in stunning fashion, he moves to the front of the line. And if either one of them wins and it looks like they're marketable, the UFC will look at their options and try to figure out who deserves it the most. Of course, Nate Marquardt is in the mix. I mean, that fight with Usman Palhares was basically, you know, a step closer to the title fight. You know, it's not like it wasn't like an automatic #1 contender position like the Gray Maynard Kenny Florian fight, but it was a very important fight for the division. So you got to look at that. You know, you got to look at, you know, Nate moves certainly to the front of the line, and I think it's an intriguing matchup, you know. I think Nate is very upset at his performance in the first fight, you know, and he's talked many times about how he just fucked up. He just fought the wrong fight. He made some mistakes that he'll never make again, and he just really wants to go in there and show what he's capable of. But a lot of people say that when they fight a guy like Anderson, because he's such a motherfucker, dude. He's so good, and he's so accurate. You say I wasn't myself. Maybe you were yourself. You just got fucking lit up, son. Bam! You know, he's just fast as fuck, dude. And he's so accurate. He's so accurate. He stands in front of guys and blasts them, and when he does, you can see this look on their face. Like you saw it in the first round of the Damian Maia fight, where it was like, what the fuck? Like, this dude's in the Matrix. Like, he's blasting me from another dimension, you know? And obviously in that fight, he couldn't keep that up, that kind of frantic speed up. But goddamn, when he puts it on you in that first round, whoo! You stand up with that guy, you're in a lot of trouble, man. You're in a lot of fucking trouble. But the fight that I really want to see at this point, of course I want to see a rematch with Chael Sonnen, but a fight I really want to see is Vitor. Vitor is very confident right now. Very confident, very dangerous. Very, very fast hands. You can't fuck up at all with Vitor. You make one little mistake, and those left hands are on you, dude. Like a barrage of them. They're coming 5, 6, 7 at a time. Before you even know it, you're seeing sparks and fucking fireworks in front of your eyes, and you're trying to cover up, and that motherfucker's bombing on you. Woo! Danger. You can't make any mistakes with Vitor. Very danger.
So you think he's the man to take out Anderson Silva?
It depends, because look, Okami knows how to slow down a fight, man. He knows how to make you fight at his pace. He knows how to stay away. He's a tall dude, and he's a good wrestler. You know, Vitor's a very underrated wrestler too. A lot of people don't realize how good of a wrestler he is. He hasn't submitted a lot of guys, but he took down Chuck Liddell. Couldn't keep him down, but just the fact that he was able to get in on a double and actually get Chuck to the ground, that's a big deal, man. He's a good fucking wrestler. So that makes it interesting, because Vitor could just decide to take Anderson down. You know, that makes it real interesting. Could just decide to take Yushin Okami down. He might try to show what Chael Sonnen did to Yushin Okami he can do too. I don't know if he can. You know, Chael Sonnen was the only guy that was able to ragdoll Okami. Okami's a bad motherfucker. He's a strong dude, powerful grappler. You know, you saw the Mark Munoz fight. Munoz is a hell of a wrestler, and yet he wasn't able to take him down. He wasn't able to hold him down. And, you know, a lot of times Okami wound up on top in those exchanges. That's pretty impressive. So who the fuck knows, man? He might be able to get a hold of Vitor. He might be able to grind him. He might be able to drag him into the third round when he gets tired and, you know, and put it on him. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? I can see a lot of scenarios in that fight. I can see Vitor lighting him up. I can see Vitor catching him in a submission. Or I can see Okami grinding on him. You know, I can see Okami, you know, like gutting it out, using a good solid jab, not committing to anything crazy, not getting involved in any crazy exchanges, and slowly slowing Vitor's game down and then imposing his own. You know, he knows this fight's really important. He's gonna be really amped up for this fight. It's a good fight, good matchup. I'm excited.
Well, man, I could talk MMA with you all day, bro, but I want to appreciate your time and just say thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you, and I've enjoyed your videos online.
Thanks a lot, bro.